everyone, and welcome to a new vlog. Today's vlog is gonna be a really fun one because we're just gonna spend a bookish day in London together. I am here in London for the first time, and I'm here with my boyfriend Anders, so he may be helping with some filming or being in some clips. We're super excited. We're gonna go do a bunch of fun bookish things this morning, and I thought it'd be fun to bring you along with me. Our first stop today is gonna be Holland Park and Kyoto Garden. Holland Park is actually the setting for one of my favorite book series, Magnolia Parks, as many of you know. So Anders and I are gonna go just walk around Holland Park, Kyoto Garden, and just kind of check out where Magnolia Parks is set, and maybe we'll spot Magnolia. No, I'm kidding, obviously. Really quickly before we go, Anders, will you show everyone my outfit? So my outfit today, I have my Veja sneakers on. I love these. They're so comfortable for walking around in Europe. This dress is from Madewell. I just have this white like linen little button up on underneath my dress from H&M. Ideally, this outfit would just be this and the dress, which you'll probably see at some point, but I did put my new Saison sweater on over top. I got this in Paris, which we were there for a couple days before being in London, and it is just a little bit chillier in London than I expected, so I threw the sweater on just in case I get cold. So that is the outfit today, and just have my hair up in a half up, half down. So let's hit the tube. We took the tube from Highgate Station all the way down to Holland Park. It did require us to transfer at one point, but we just had a nice morning on the tube. I did a little bit of reading, and I just really enjoy getting to explore other cities' transit systems. I always think it's really fun. Guys, we made it to Holland Park. It's so cool here. It reminds me, I don't even know what it reminds me of. It just reminds me of Magnolia Parks, I guess. We were just walking and I saw this sign and it just says Holland Park, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. So I'm gonna take a photo with it, I think. But I always see the girlies taking pictures with these signs. I think they're kind of all over the neighborhood. So I'm sure we'll see several of them, but it's just really cool to be in Holland Park. So I'm glad we were able to make this stop number one. We're gonna walk towards Kyoto Garden now. So I'm sure we'll see some more of the signs and stuff. Just gonna take in the morning weather. It's such a beautiful day. I took off my sweater and I'm totally fine. So you can see like the inspo for the outfit a little bit better now. Yeah, just enjoying the morning walking around Holland Park and soaking in all of the Magnolia Parks vibes, as you know. Okay, we just kept walking and look at all these trees. They're so pretty the way they line the street. We also found the entrance to Holland Park itself, I'm pretty sure, and this sign. So I'm gonna take some photos here, but it's just very cool. I'm fangirling hard. Next up, we made our way into Holland Park itself. Beyond just a neighborhood, it is an actual park. So we enjoyed walking around and just taking in all of the beautiful scenery. It was absolutely gorgeous, and Kyoto Garden is in Holland Park. So we went over to Kyoto Garden as well, which was just stunning. You had to be quiet in here, so that's why I'm coming back with a voiceover now, but it was just so beautiful. There were these koi fish, there was a waterfall, there was just so much to appreciate about this park, and we could have literally spent the whole day just hanging out here. Okay, we're just about to head out of Holland Park and Kyoto Garden. This has been so cool and so much fun, and we're having such a good weather day, so I'm feeling very lucky. It's just been so cool to walk around here. It's so pretty, and we actually saw a pretty big bumblebee at one point, which was kind of following us around, and I just thought that was really like funny and special since bumblebees are such an iconic symbol, I feel like, for the Magnolia Parks books. Anyways, our next stop this morning is going to be the Parent Trap house. So if you've watched The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, it's one of my favorite movies. I know it's not like a super bookish thing. I feel like a lot of you may appreciate it because I feel like it's just kind of an iconic movie of my generation. It's one of my favorites for sure. So just wanted to pop over to the flat where Annie lived in London and where Hallie went and pretended to be Annie. So that's our next stop. It's like a 10-minute walk from here. It's not too far. It's like over in Kensington, so pretty close by. So okay, we made it to Stafford Terrace, which is the street where the house from Parent Trap was. Editing Lottie here. This is actually not where the flat is from the Parent Trap. I completely had the wrong address. I still had a lot of fun. I was a little confused because I was like, this doesn't exactly look like it, but I was like, I'm sure it's changed a lot over the years, whatever. So enjoy me being silly and thinking I was at the Parent Trap flat when I wasn't, but word to the wise, if you go, get the right address, and it's not this one, but that's okay. Anders is over here on Zillow.
It's depressing.
See, I feel like it looks kind of different because there was like a gate out front that Annie opens. There's so many fancy cars on this road too, but isn't it just so pretty? We're leaving Stafford Terrace now. I will say it wasn't like a one-to-one match, I feel like, from what they filmed. I don't know if technically that was the filming spot for the inside of the flat or the outside, because honestly, these right here, Anders, look almost more like, I'm not even showing you guys, these ones we're talking about. Anyway, it wasn't like a one-to-one. Okay, and then now there's construction sounds. So now we're just walking back to the Holland Park tube stop. We're going back through Holland Park actually just a little bit. They are super close together, so it's interesting to think that Annie lived near Holland Park too. But yeah, we're going back to the tube, and we are definitely a bit thirsty, hungry, and under-caffeinated from walking around this morning so far. So we're gonna go get some matcha to refuel before our next adventure. So that is the next stop. We were not mad about having to walk back through Holland Park just a little bit. It was so beautiful, definitely a highlight of our day. But then we got on the tube using our Oyster cards. These are like your Metro cards in London, and made our way over to a cafe that I found on TikTok. I was looking for really good matcha, and I saw 500,000 coffee shop was recommended, so we decided to check it out. They did have matcha like on tap, so I was pretty skeptical, but I'll let you know what I thought of the matcha, and then I also got a little pastry as well. Okay, we got our matcha. Anders got just like an American filtered coffee. They're like, what is that?
I did.
So hopefully you can hear me okay. I attached my mic to my camera, but here's the matcha. It's so good. This is maybe the best matcha I've had in London, so I definitely recommend this. It's near Selfridges and like all the shops. So if you go over there to shop, this is a really great matcha. This I definitely recommend. This is like way better than Blank Street. So I would recommend this. The only thing about 500,000 Cafe is that there wasn't really any seating in there, which was kind of annoying. So we took our drinks and our food and we just found like a bench not too far away. So we're just hanging out, sitting here, having a little snack break. Just gonna sit here, enjoy our food and our beverages. Getting caffeinated, essential. This is so good. I'm about to just slurp the whole thing down. We finished our coffee and matcha and snacks, and we had a nice little rest on the bench, and now we're feeling rejuvenated. We're heading over to the first bookstore of the day. We're going to Daunt Books in, I don't know how to pronounce this, Marylebone? Is that how you say it? I don't know. It's not too far from where we are now, so walking over there. But I think its claim to fame is that it was like the first ever like custom built bookshop. Like the space was built to be a bookshop. It wasn't like adapted into one. I remember I did some research last night. It also has been voted the most popular bookstore in the world. I think it's like one of the most loved. I'm excited. Something else about Daunt Books that I'm excited about is I'm pretty sure it's one of the last like independent bookstores in London, because Waterstones, which is basically like Barnes & Noble in the UK, has bought most of the independent bookstores. They usually retain a lot of their branding, but they're owned by Waterstones. So Daunt is one. We're here. Daunt is one that's still independent, which is cool. You're probably like, finally, 8 minutes into the vlog and we're finally at a bookshop. But this is Daunt Books, as I said. This was probably the bookshop that I was the most excited to visit, mostly because it is an independent bookshop, and I just think it's so important to try to support small businesses and independent booksellers when we can. The inside, just, can we take a moment for the inside of this bookshop, you guys? Like, it's gorgeous. But to start off, I actually went downstairs with Anders and we just checked out the bottom floor. They had a lot of different shelves that were separated out by different countries and a lot of historical fiction and history books down here. So if you're a history buff, definitely don't miss the downstairs. But it was just so gorgeous. And it was also definitely less crowded down here. So nice if you just want some space for a second. But then I headed back upstairs and found the new releases and the fiction, and I was so excited. I found the fiction and like new releases and stuff. Do I get the paperback version of Funny Story? I feel like I need to. Honestly, guys, I was just totally nerding out over getting to see a bunch of my favorite books with different UK covers, like The Favorites, Blue Sisters, and then also some on my TBR, like Babel and Our Infinite Fates. This is blasphemy. Why do we have this cover in the UK? We need to have the UK cover. What is this? And here I am nerding out over some more different UK covers that I thought were really cool. Hello Beautiful and Green Dot are both on my TBR, so those stood out to me. Okay, I'm going upstairs. There's this narrow stairway. Honestly, it's a lot of like poetry, Shakespeare, music, nature kind of books upstairs. So I didn't do too much shopping or browsing up there just because that's not my genre. And finally, I picked out a tote bag. Of course, I needed one. Okay guys, I just left Daunt Books. It was so cool in there. I tried to get some shots for you guys. Of course it's crowded and I don't want to like talk and like have my vlog camera sitting on the bookshelf and like be that annoying American. I ended up getting this tote bag as my souvenir, which I love. They didn't really have any bookmarks in there and I wanted to get something to support them. And I got a couple books, so I'll show you guys those at the end of the vlog. We'll do a little book haul. I'm having so much fun. Our next stop is Waterstones, Piccadilly, which is the biggest bookshop in all of Europe, I'm pretty sure. We're gonna take the tube over there now. You can walk, it's about a mile. I wanna say it's like a 30-minute walk, but it's like a 20-minute tube ride. And our feet are just hurting because we've been on our European trip for like a week now. We are almost to Waterstones, just got off the tube. I see it, it's down the street from us. This is the biggest bookstore in all of Europe. And I know that it's a chain, but given that it's the biggest bookstore in all of Europe, it's kind of just like, we have to stop here, you know what I mean? I'm really excited to see all the different floors and everything they may have. So let's check it out together. All right, besties, we made it to the 5-story Waterstones. I was absolutely geeking out and was so excited to spend an ungodly amount of time in this bookstore. I was just hit with all of these books right when I walked in, like atmosphere and some different tables. I found a hardcover of The Conditions of Will. I did notice they're not as big on sprayed edges in general in the UK, I found. So I didn't see as many of those as you might see at like Barnes & Noble. And then I just started picking up books I was excited about. So Problematic Summer Romance, Releasing 10 just came out. The One Golden Summer font difference. I don't like One Golden Summer or Say You'll Remember Me in the UK versions. It sounds like Love got put out early. I was gonna get it, but I'd already pre-ordered it, so I left it. Also, Hey Mitch Slays. This is an iconic sign. I also found the UK edition of Fearless with this gorgeous hardcover and reversible dust jacket. Why do we not get these in the US? And then look at Reckless. I was absolutely obsessed. I also found all these cool YA special editions. There was just a lot to be excited about here. Okay, so I've been walking around. We started on the 5th floor and then just worked our way down. So the 5th floor was like a cafe and restaurant. There weren't books on that floor. And then the 4th floor is mostly like history, economics, nonfiction. It's like Anders' floor to a T, so he's still hanging out up there. I came on down to the 3rd floor and this is mostly like self-help, sports, gardening, hobbies, crafting, all that kind of stuff. So not a ton of fiction on this floor either. I may go ahead and head down to the 2nd floor from here. I think the 2nd floor has more like fantasy and stuff, and then the 1st floor just has like popular fiction titles and stuff. That's where I started and filmed a bunch of clips. I'm gonna head down to the 2nd floor and see what's on there. I think it's gonna be more like YA maybe and fantasy and stuff. I also still haven't seen the children's section, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. Going down another floor was definitely a good idea. This floor had all of the children's books and the YA books, as well as fantasy and sci-fi. I found a copy of Needy Little Things with the UK edition, which was really cool. Of course, Silver Elite is everywhere right now. There was a book talk table, which I love browsing through, of course, and just found this floor to be a ton of fun. The 2nd floor is a lot of YA, it's children's and young adult and fantasy and sci-fi. So that's everything on this floor. And I've just been walking around looking at all of it. I'm so tempted to get all 3 of the Powerless, Fearless, and Reckless books from the Powerless trilogy because they're so pretty, but I cannot fit 3 hardcover books in my bag, but they're gorgeous. So I'm going back to the 1st floor. Look at these editions of The Song of Achilles and Circe. Anders and I both have read both of these books and we really like them. I just like can't fit all this in my suitcase is the problem. I'm on the 1st floor now, which has a lot of classics, normal fiction, and then romantic fiction. I thought we could try to come find the Magnolia Parks books, even though I have those at home. I just want to see them. I did find the Magnolia Parks books. I didn't find the original one though. And I saw a different cover of The Love of My Afterlife, which I loved this book, so that was cool. We've been here a little over an hour, just been walking around all the floors. There's a lot to see. We picked out some books, which I will show you later. I put on my Instagram story a poll of like choosing between a new release or a book that I've never heard anything about before, and you guys picked a new release. But the thing is, I didn't really think this poll through, so I do apologize. But in terms of a new release, I really am only buying books here that have different covers than the US because it's going to be a pain to pack them to go back home. And so it needs to be worth it in some capacity. And in order for it to be worth it, I feel like it needs to have a different cover. Like if I could just get it at home, why would I get it here? So that's been kind of my mindset. In terms of new releases, I would like to get The Night and the Moth, but it's the exact same cover. So I just feel like it'd be stupid to bring that chunky hardcover home with me when I could just get it at home. That's like the main new release that I'm interested in. I kind of want to read Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, but I might just get it through Libby because I didn't love Deep End. I think I'm not going to get a new release even though it won the poll. And I haven't really seen any books that I want to get that I like know nothing about or that I just like picked up and learned something about. You'll see what we end up getting. But I think we're going to wrap up here soon. All right, we're leaving Waterstones. We got some books. Success.
Yeah.
We're just using the Daunt Books tote bag that I got, and it's getting heavy, so I made Anders carry it. But now we're just going to one more bookstore, the final stop on our list, and that is called Hatchards. And it's really close to the Waterstones. So we're just walking down here to Hatchards. Gonna check that one out as our third and final. I don't know as many fun facts about Hatchards because I literally just had someone DM me saying that I should go. Going to Hatchards now. Hatchards was seriously like a 2 or 3 minute walk down the street from Waterstones Piccadilly. So I was so glad that I made it over here. Thank you to whoever DM'd me telling me to go over to Hatchards as well, because it was so cool to see this bookshop and it was massive. We've got another multi-floor bookstore on our hands. I'm going upstairs. One of my favorite parts of book shopping in general is just touring these different bookstores and seeing how they have their displays set up and all of their books organized and all of the different little trinkets and displays. It's just so much fun to look through all the different sections, find some of your favorite books, find a new book. I saw there was a UK edition of Caraval, so I got excited about that and just had a blast browsing through here. Okay, we browsed around Hatchards. It was very beautiful in there. They had like old like first edition books you could buy and stuff too. It seemed like it was independent, but I don't know if it's owned by someone. I will research if it is or not. But it was really cool too, and definitely worth going to if you're ever in London because it's really close to the Waterstones, so you might as well hit both. But we are absolutely so tired now. So I think we're gonna head back to our Airbnb and just rest for a little bit. Thanks for coming along book shopping with us. It's been such a fun bookish day. Okay, y'all, we are back from our bookish day out in London and had so much fun, but I'm super tired. Definitely needed to come home for a bit of downtime and resting. I just wanted to show you everything we picked up today as part of the haul to end us off. So the first thing I got is this tote bag from Daunt Books. That was the first bookstore that we went to. That one is like the most popular one in the world. I really love this tote bag. I like how structured it is and how it like has this like middle section. I feel like a lot of tote bags are just like two sides sewn together, if you know what I mean. This one is really structured and nice, and it has a little pocket on the inside too. So I love this. They had them in like a bunch of different colors and actually I think 2 different sizes as well. I just think this is like an iconic tote bag, and everyone in Europe is so much better about using tote bags than we are in the US. They like usually charge you if you're gonna need like a plastic or paper bag. So I want to be better about bringing my tote bag with me in general. So anyways, this is the tote bag that I got as my souvenir. Now let's talk about the different books that we picked up. I ended up getting 4 books and Anders got 2. Literally good luck to our suitcases with these 6 books. But Anders did have quite a bit of extra room when we flew over. So I feel like we definitely have room. I'm just a little bit worried about like staying under 50 pounds, but I feel like we'll be fine, you know, like whatever, it's fine. So we got 3 books at Daunt Books and then 3 books at Waterstones. We didn't end up getting anything at the third and final bookstore because honestly, we were pretty tired and we'd done so much book shopping that it was fun to just kind of browse and check out that last bookshop. But yeah, let's start with what I got at Daunt Books. So the first thing that I picked up is A Funny Story by Emily Henry. This is the paperback UK edition. I have the paperback UK editions of, I think, all of her other books, other than, of course, Great Big Beautiful Life, because that's not out yet. It's just in hardcover. So I wanted to get the paperback A Funny Story now that this is out to add to my collection. So I have all of these other ones that are on the back of the book. And I just think it's fun to collect Emily Henry books. So I'm adding this one to my book collection. I have already read it. And then I asked in a poll if you guys would rather see me get a 5-star read with a UK cover or a book on my TBR with a UK cover. And you guys voted for a 5-star read with a UK cover. I actually ended up getting both. I didn't end up getting any new releases or books I'd never heard of because I just couldn't find anything that like was really interesting to me or something that I wanted that had a different UK cover like I talked about before. So anyways, the next book that I got is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellors. As you guys know, I surprisingly really enjoyed this book. I read it back in January and I just really connected with it. It definitely stood out to me. I did a whole spread dedicated to this book in my reading journal. And I just think this paperback UK edition with the different artwork is just really cool. So I wanted to have this different edition of Blue Sisters. And then the third and final book that I got at Daunt Books is one that's actually on my TBR. It's on my 25 books I want to read in 2025. And I know a lot of you guys have been wanting me to read this one, so I think you'll be excited. This is The Women by Kristen Hanna. This is a paperback edition. Again, they haven't come out with a paperback in the US yet, but I just thought I want to read this one soon, and I prefer reading paperbacks. So I wanted to go ahead and get this and get the UK edition because I just thought it was really pretty, honestly. I think this is a really cool version and I hadn't seen it before. So it just drew me in and I was like, you know what? I'm going to get it. And I got a little Daunt Books bookmark as well that they stuck in that one. So I have that for my souvenir as well. The most beautiful bookshop in London, designed for travelers who like reading. That is my Daunt Books haul. And then of course the tote bag. Should we put the mic on the bookmark and use it as a little microphone? I think we should. Okay, then next up at Waterstones, Piccadilly, the biggest bookshop in Europe, we got 3 more books. Anders got 2 and I got 1. One that he was looking for was a 5-star read of his that he wanted a shelf trophy of, and that is Why Nations Fail. Anders was actually looking for this one at Daunt Books and couldn't find it, so he was really excited when he found it at Waterstones. This is a 5-star read of his that he wanted a UK edition shelf trophy of. We both were excited to find that one of his 5 stars had a different cover that he could get as a souvenir. So got this one and it will be going on the shelf. And then one that Anders picked up for his TBR is called The Price of Time, The Real Story of Interest by Edward Chancellor, which I think this cover is really cool. Can a history of interest rates really entertain? You bet. You won't find me reading this book, respectfully, but I'm excited that Anders is excited about it. And if you need a rec for your boyfriend, might I suggest The Price of Time or Why Nations Fail. So those are Anders' books. He went ahead and got in the shower and I was like, I'll share with them what you picked up. And the very last book that I picked up today on our book shopping day was from Waterstones Piccadilly again. And this is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have definitely been wanting to read this for a long time now. I'm a bit intimidated by it, but we're going to put it on the TBR. I really enjoyed Yellowface and I feel like Babel should be my next read from her, and then probably go into the Poppy War trilogy, and then we'll get to Catabasis later on. But I do feel like I should read this as my next read from her, and I just think this UK version is so cool. I really liked it, and then the spine, I think the spine is a little different. They're not too different, but I just think this like lighter gray is really nice. So I picked this up, and I think this will motivate me to read it soon, hopefully, because I have this cool edition. I must say, I do feel like the paperbacks of most of the UK books have smaller font though, I will say. I've heard so many good things about this book, so I definitely want to read it soon. So I picked up 2 books from my TBR, The Women and Babel, and 2 5-star read shelf trophies, Funny Story, and Blue Sisters. So I'd call that a pretty successful book shopping day. It was super cool to get to check some of these things off my bookish bucket list with you guys today. And if you made it this far in the video, comment down below with the Union Jack flag emoji so I can know who made it to the end. Also, let me know in the comments down below, which cover do you think is the best UK cover compared to the US one? If you have any that you think this is so much better as the UK version, let me know because I'm definitely curious. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you super soon in another one. Bye!